That's weird. That's weird. I'll tell you guys a little bit about me. I recently found out that I'm a hypocrite, so that sucks, but I tell some offensive jokes sometimes, but I'm finding that when someone says something offensive that hits home with me, I get mad about it, you know? Like there was a comedian a few weeks ago talking about kids with Asperger's. And I was like, man, like, you can't say stuff like that. My son had Asperger's, you know? That was like the hardest day of my life when we found out that we had to put it down. Like, it's not funny, man, it's not, alright? I'm joking, we kept him. He's 8 now and he says he wants to be a stand-up comedian. And I was like, well, you beat Asperger's, but you're stupid, so that sucks. But I said, what do you got? I was like, tell me a joke. So he said, Dad, have you seen the clown that hides from gay people? And I was like, no. He's like, that makes sense. I was like, oh. 8 years, man. You made 8 years without getting hit. That was a good run. That was a good run, you know? I know, he's 8, so he doesn't understand what being gay is yet, right? So like, I tried to explain it to him without having the sex talk, because I'm not ready for that, but I was like, it's like if a guy loves a guy, or a girl loves a girl, you know? He's like, well, we love each other, we're gay, you know? Well, it's a little different than that, pal, like, you know, don't say that at school, kids are mean, you know, they don't understand yet, you know? So I tried to explain further, I was like, it's like if a guy wants to kiss another guy, you know? He's like, well, we kiss, we're gay, and I'm like, no! Still a little different, man. Like, I feel like this whole conversation is gonna go bad. You know, like his teacher's gonna ask the wrong question. He's like, me and my dad are gay and we kiss, but we're not supposed to talk about it. It's different, you know, it's different. Speaking of the Catholic Church, we're not gonna get into that tonight. We'll touch on that. I have a weird friend group. I'm trying to keep one of each, I guess, I don't know. I got a Muslim buddy, and it always gets real quiet. Not normally an uh-oh, but yeah. But I was at my house the other day, and I was feeding my other son who's in a high chair, and I was like, hey, can you feed him for a second while I go to the bathroom? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem, you know? But I was feeding him ham in a can, and I didn't think about it, you know? Right, I was like, that's insensitive, okay? But he overreacted. Like, he put it on the spoon like it was a plane, he was like, right when he got there, he kicked the legs out of the high chair, and my son just went down. Somehow my son in the other room also went down. Something to do with jet fuel, I didn't understand it, but yeah, I woke up the next day, I had 100 missed text messages from him. And I was like, that's him trying to apologize, but it wasn't. It just said, Allah Akbar, 100 times. I was like, dude, what the hell are you doing? He's like, blowing up your phone, dude. And I'm allowed to tell that joke because I have friends who are terrorists, so. Oh man. Recently I watched a documentary. This is how my weekend has gone so far. I watched a documentary on Amish people. Any Amish in the crowd today? Never. They're never here. But no, I found out that they're terrified of electricity and actually thinking if they get their picture taken, that will steal their soul. Yeah, this has to cut into their job opportunities, right? Like they can't be terrorists, and it's not for everyone. That's okay, but like. If I find a bomb strapped to blow, my first natural thought wasn't the Amish. I think that's fair, you know? But I was like, what if the Amish were terrorists? And what if the Amish did 9/11? It'd be a completely different story. It'd be like breaking news. Sometime in the wee hours of the night, a small group of men completely deconstructed both towers and stacked the materials neatly where the buildings once stood. It'd be horrifying. Like, 2 guys did that? Jesus, like, I need a roof, so I don't know where we stand on that, but I watch a lot of news. I watch a lot of TV, it seems like now, but I watched KY3, and the other day they had a story on it. They said, if you're still struggling with addiction, here's a few tips to help you. And they said the first tip was, don't do drugs behind a locked door. Yeah, that was a real tip, yeah. I was like, I don't know how they know drug addicts, but there's 2 kinds, and the first kind have locked every door in the house, all right? The second kind have removed every door from the house, so. The second tip they gave was don't do drugs alone. And I was like, that's right, KY3 reporting live, share those needles. It's not good. I told this to my friend who's smoking weed, and he said, it's because we're so dependent on technology, man. He said, it's just like all we use is our eyes and our thumbs anymore. And if we take away our thumbs, we're just part of the machine. And I was like, you're about to be very alone and high behind the locked door. That did not make any sense at all. And I always say my buddy because my wife hates me saying that it was her. So, now you guys know. I don't smoke weed anymore because I get crazy paranoid, but I used to smoke and play Madden football. You guys play that? Yeah. But I guess there's a new Madden out. There's a story mode and you can actually be the football player when he's not playing football. I was like, how's that work? Because like repeatedly punch your girlfriend in the face. It's like press X to plead not guilty, you know? It's like you're guilty, but it's only a $200 fine. That's how football works, you know? This is a football town, isn't it? Yeah. There was some weird buttons in there though. It said press square to tie your shoe. I was like, what the hell is this doing? It's like, oh no, the national anthem is playing, you've been traded. Game over. Everybody got mad about that, didn't they? Trump got real mad about that. I don't talk too much about Trump because I really don't care one way or the other, but I do find that he's a little goofy and I love watching him, you know? They always try to give him like easy press conference questions and he finds amazing ways to mess it up. You know? Like, Mr. President, how do you feel about the Kremlin? He's like, oh, it's horrible, I hate the Kremlin, but you know, the Chinese man did warn him not to feed the mob way after midnight, so it's really on the money, you know? Just blaming on the kids, though. You guys have kids? Anyone on date night? I got 3 kids. There's no jokes there. 3 kids is no joke, right? I was thinking about my life decisions and how I got here. I was driving past this car dealership the other day, looking at all these nice cars that I can't afford. And I was like, man, I could have got one of those, you know? I'm also a procrastinator, so I take my kids to the condo aisle and get the exact same feeling, like I could have got one of those, you know? Like, that'd be great, you know? You laughed a little too hard then, that's okay. I saw they had glow-in-the-dark condoms there. Yeah, like I thought they were cool, but I think they tried to be like more funny than they would be sexy. You know? Like women say they find this sense of humor attractive, but I don't think a glowing green penis is what I'm talking about. Okay, why don't we role play like I'm mining for plutonium? So I bought them. I recently tried them with my wife. About halfway through, she starts flailing around going crazy like she's an herbal essence commercial. Turns out she had a seizure from the constant flashing. Like, it did not go well. Don't recommend them. I think if I owned the glow-in-the-dark condom company, my demographic would just be gay men, you know? They would sell themselves. My commercials would be dark when your 2 lightsabers come on, like boom. He's like, losers on the bottom? He's like, deal. He's gonna throw the fight, that's what's gonna happen. You guys go to gay bars at all? Yeah, I got some gay buddies, they always try to get me to go to the gay bar. I'm always like, no, you go, you be gay. On the way there, you know? Come back straight. I mean, come straight back, come straight back. That's what you're I don't go because like, I have social anxiety. Like, this is hard enough for me to do. It's like, if I go to like a dance club or a karaoke bar, same thing always happens. Like, I get a blackout drunk, and I wake up the next day, my friend shows me a video of me doing stupid karaoke, or dancing like an idiot. And I don't think I recover quite as well from my drunken night at a gay bar, you know? My buddy just shows me a video of me standing on a bar lightsaber fighting with another man, you know? He's like, dude, you threw the fight, you know? I got told that joke was homophobic recently. I was like, I took one in the butt in that joke, so I don't know what else to do to make it less homophobic than that, you know? Like, I'm not doing it for real, you know? Not for comedy. Maybe for love, I don't know, who knows, you know? Saturday night. You guys can probably tell, I grew up as a punk rock kid. And then never really grew up. I got taller. That was cool though. But no, like I used to get crazy. Once I had a family, I had to calm down because like, I used to get outrageous. Like, I got so wild at a party one night that halfway through that party, I realized that I lost my daughter. Yeah, like an infant. And I actually knocked one guy out because I thought he took her. Turns out he didn't, but like she was still missing. So we formed like a different party, like a search party, you know. Not as fun, but. We're knocking on all the doors in the parking complex trying to find her. I don't know if you ever had that where like you slightly sober up and you're like, it's 2009, like I don't even have a daughter, you know? Like these guys are gonna be mad. You know? It's like a them nice Shyamalan directed Taken, you know? Some crazy old dude harassing her, but just where's my family, you know? But no, I do have a daughter now. That's the only reason I tell that joke is because I haven't lost her, and so now you guys are like he's doing good, you know? That clap kind of threw me off. Did you lose your daughter? I want to get into this, man. I take my son on the bus, sometimes the city bus, and he always finds different ways to embarrass me. One day he looked across at the guy and he goes, "Excuse me, sir." He said, "Can you make one eye look that way and one eye look that way? Or is that involuntary?" I was like, "Oh." He put his hands up. I was like, "I know, that's a big word for his age group, man. Like, it's crazy." Oh, man. Now I go to weird stuff now. I go to like gender reveal parties. You ever been to one of those? Those are weird. I've known this guy for like 12 years. Had no idea he was a woman. It was crazy. So it turns out what we did when we were 12 wasn't gay, so that was a relief though. There's a lot going on with the transgender movement. Always the tampon brand just took the female logo off their symbol off their logo to be more inclusive of transgenders. And I was like, finally some payback. Now the wives got to feel the shame of buying these for their husbands, right? No guys ever laugh at that joke. Like, you know it's fine with me, babe. You know it's fine. But I do a show once a month, and the host is transgender. So I did some research, so I sound like an idiot when I talked to her. And I found out the first transgender person was actually a survivor of the Titanic. I didn't know this. This guy's name was Clarence Waterman, and he said it took a life-changing event like that for him to realize he was transgender, you know? They said as soon as he hit the iceberg, it just clicked, you know? They started loading up the lifeboats like, women, children only. He's like, actually...